17th of September 2010. Dear reader, if you're enjoying this piece, then they have caught me and released my diaries to the public. I am most likely either rotting in a prison or dead. I hope if I'm dead I got the electric chair. It looks so exciting on television. As you know, for I'm sure they must have told you by now whose writings they released. I'm Jackie Apron, the serial killer. A name the police gave me since my murders seemed to remind them of Jack the Ripper's killings, and my last name comes from his second nickname, the Leather Apron. How very creative of them. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough. I'm tired and I will write more in the morning. 18th of September 2010. So, after much thought last night, I realised that if I'm ever caught and the police really do release these writings, this would be a way to tell people about my favourite subject. Me. I think I'll start with my birth. Even then, death wasn't far away. My father was a scientist who practiced ungodly experiments, many of which involved me. Even when I was a fetus, my father wanted to test his new abortion drug. It failed, but it poisoned my mother and she would die from it 2 years later after giving birth to my sister. Good riddance. My mother was just a cheap whore who sold her body to my father's experiments, even to the point of having kids with him. My father was an interesting man now that I'm looking back on him. A cruel, vile, unholy man, but still interesting. He believed in the worship of Satan, and he was a genetics scientist. He could never keep a job anywhere, always getting drunk and doing God knows what to the animals in the labs. So with my mother's whore money funding his experiments, he got the crazy idea that if he used his talents to create a real life demon, Satan will make him rich in life. So he had me. And that is where my story really starts. He did so many terrible things to me and my sister. Chemical baths, unnecessary surgeries, verbal and sexual abuse. He made us do terrible things to each other as well. When I was a teenager and about 13 and my sister was 11, he made us do things to each other. I always loved my sister so very much, so the incest didn't bother me nearly as much as it did her. She was very beautiful, but I think I've written enough for today. More later. 24th of September 2010. Sorry I haven't written in a while. I was busy with my latest guest. Now, where was I? I believe I stopped with my sister and my father's experiments. These two subjects have an unfortunate crossroads. My sister never survived her childhood. She died when she was only 14, and she was never buried. No, not buried. My father believed that to be a demon, I must be an eater of humans. He made me eat my dead sister's corpse. First, by starving me in the basement where he kept us. Her body was there with me, but I had to survive. I had to one day kill my father for what he had done to me and my sister. It took me a week and a half to finish her body. I'm sorry I have to cut this short. I must keep moving. The 29th of September 2010. The police are on to me. I know it. I feel like I should finish this story for the sake of making sure people will know the true cruelty of man. At the age of 17, I killed my father. Now, let me tell you how. After so many years waiting for a chance, a single moment for me to take advantage of, to kill that bastard. While I was in his lab, while he was performing facial surgery on me, before I was put under the gas, he turned around to turn it on and I managed to pick his pocket and hide a small pen into mine. After my limp body had been dumped back into the basement, I eventually woke up and noticed my entire head had been bandaged. It must have been from the surgery. My father had said something about making me look like a demon. I didn't care. I was too excited about my new tool. I had collected many little items throughout my childhood. My new pen, a paperclip, a shoelace, and a piece of broken glass from a bottle. These will be my weapons to kill my father. Tonight is the night. It was late at night. I walked up to the basement door. I used the paperclip to pick the lock. It was surprisingly easy. But the damn thing breaks inside the lock, so now all I have is this lace, the glass, and my pen. I was on all fours, silently crawling and creeping like an animal through the house. I saw my father laying in the living room, asleep on the couch. I had the glass in my hand and I screamed as I jammed the shard into his stomach. The scream and the sudden pain woke him. He got up quickly and started punching me in the face. We fought and wrestled throughout the house, the shard still in his stomach. We kept fighting until we were in the lab, where our struggle knocked test tubes and vials off the shelves onto us. The chemicals burned my skin, so I pushed my father into the corner and beat him in the head until he didn't move. I ripped off my bandage to reveal my new face. My skin was a strange grey colour covered in scars, my lips red like the blood, and deep black eyes. My longest black hair was missing in a few patches from all the surgeries, and yet out of these deformities I had a great smile. I still do. And I did smile then, as I do now when I kill. I looked at my lifeless father with my new eyes, and he started to move. So I picked up a bottle of acid that I remember he used to use on me as a child to burn away my thumbprints, and I poured it on his face. Then I started to kick him. I kicked his head, his torso, arms, legs. I just kept kicking until I knew he was dead. And then I kicked him more. I kicked and kicked until my legs gave out and I fell to the ground. It took me about an hour to gain my strength back. I got up and looked at what I'd done. My father's body was now a dead pile of bloody meat, and I was so glad. I was free now, and I had only one thing on my mind. If one man could be so cruel, then all humans must be. Truly, I must destroy these foul creatures one by one. In a funny bit of irony, my father had succeeded. He created a demon who slayed the devil and escaped from hell itself. And now I was free to do whatever I pleased. And so far, I've done nothing but that. And that is how we demons are made.